break and rejuggling everything and hiring all new people. If this doesn't come back to good ratings, I've said this before, I'm not so sure New York is coming back ever.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
Because it's like Vanderpump Rules came back to bad ratings. Now the OC, I mean, they tell, look how long they just took.
The OC's always had the highest ratings. Atlanta and OC, no matter what, they've always had higher than anybody else. So maybe they still have those diehard fans. I don't know. What's her face has over 1 million. Tamra has over 1 million. I have close to 1 million. I mean, those are people that are diehard fans of ours that are like, fuck this. I'm not watching this anymore.
Right. And I just think like, even if Noella is the greatest thing in the world, I think like if certain people just are like, why do I want to start with new people? Like,
why do I want to start with new people? Yeah.
Shannon's the one they know. And now Heather, but like even Emily and Gina, they just haven't been on for that long. I just think like, if you're on the fence,
they've been on for 4 years. They've been on,
but not
less than me. But nobody knows who they are. No one writes about them.
Yeah.
They don't push the needle. They fly under the radar.
Well, and to your point, if you have 3 women, including Kelly, who were on the show for a very long time and had huge followings, if they're gone, then you have work to do to convince people to watch for the people who they don't know, because they're used to seeing them. And they were like, I want them back. Who are these ladies?
Because they're invested. You get invested in people. Like people miss Dorinda, even though she had a bad season, people miss Dorinda.
Like even Salt Lake, which is great. The ratings are not good on Salt Lake. I mean, it's not going anywhere, but they're like in the 700s. Finally, they made the 800s with Jen Shaw, but that's not great. Just because I just think people are like, why do I want to start a new show unless you're like a diehard?
Well, it started with all new, fresh people. So you got to know them from the beginning. So I don't watch Salt Lake, but I heard it's really good. I need to watch it.
Okay.
It's good now.
I heard it's really good.
I'll watch it with you.
Watch that. Watch Winter House if you want to just not think about too much.
Yeah.
A bunch of people
What do you think about What Happens Live? Do you think Andy Cohen's going to be folding up?
I mean, that's what everyone keeps saying.
The ratings are horrible on that one.
The ratings are not good. So it's kind of like do you ever know, like, do you watch What Happens? Like, if you ever watch, it's like nobody's flown in anymore. It's like housewives are in person, and like, it's really weird. Like, you don't even notice it. And you're like, wait a second, there hasn't been an in-person guest in forever. So I just think it's like they're trying to cut the costs, right? Because the ratings aren't that good. I just think at the corporate level, someone has to be saying, right? Like,
you have to stop spending so much money. That's what they're saying. We're not making enough to justify all these expenses. And that's how it starts. They start cutting back and the quality starts to suffer. And then it's like a snowball effect.
Right.
And that's what I think happened with New York, right? Because like the network was involved and they're probably just like, who the hell is Ramona? I mean, they know who she is, but like, they're not invested. They're just like, wait, the advertising dollars are down. The ratings are down. And what are these salaries? I mean, Ramona, Luann, and Sonia had big salaries.
Yeah. And Tamra and I talk about this all the time. Like when they start doing these, you know, the Real Housewives of like, you know, the Peacock stuff, the girls' ultimate trips, you know that they're suffering if now this is happening. Like now they're
coming up with
they're coming up with gimmicks.
Yeah.
That's what I thought about Dubai too. You know, like they're doing the Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm like, I just think they're like, I don't think that's a great sign for New York either. They're just like, wait, there's no place else. Like maybe Dubai could be spun a totally different way because it's foreign. I agree. I think they're trying a lot of different things. I don't think I mean, listen, the Real World is off the air. So like eventually Housewives has to go off the air, right?
Of course. Well, everything does. Everything has to, you know, everything has its day. I mean, Friends had their day. The only one that I don't know that has their day is Curb Enthusiasm. They've been on forever.
And Grey's Anatomy.
My favorite.
60 Minutes is still on.
And so is Grey's Anatomy.
It is?
And it's still just as good, let me tell you.
Oh my God, I didn't know.
I don't watch that show.
Oh yes.
We're catching up on Ray Donovan right now. She never saw it, and I watched it years ago, so we're watching it again.
I never saw that show either.
It's so good.
It's so good.
You have to watch Selling Sunset though too if you like reality TV. It's great.
Yeah. My friend's on there for the Oppenheimer group. They're doing an OC one here. I'm going to their opening.
Yeah, I
They're
just
gonna be
met that one
filming it.
guy. The one guy.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just lighthearted fun. Who doesn't like real estate porn?
Yeah.
The next time you guys are in New York, we'll meet up, we'll have drinks. The next time I'm
Yeah,
out
that'd be
there.
great. Yeah.
sure.
Where can everyone find you and find your podcast? Because it's great. So everyone needs to listen.
Right here. Patreon.com.
It's
Unmasked.
Patreon.com. It's Rick and Kelly Unmasked on Patreon. If you go on Patreon.com, you just search our names, it pops up. It's $5. The basic subscription is $5 a month. And I was just talking to Kelly about this. Like, how many times do we spend $5 in a single day, like on a sandwich, on a cup of coffee, on a beer or half a drink, and this is $5 a month, and you get our whole library of shows and then fresh shows every week. And more
What's good
stuff
is
coming.
I don't just do the typical podcast. I do a cooking, I do a beauty tips,
travel
I
stuff.
do travel stuff.
And it's a TV show.
It's like
it's
a
the
TV.
two of
Yeah,
us,
it's not just sitting down. It's talking over over bull stuff. Like it's fun.
And everyone seems to think it's very entertaining. So I hope people will go to Patreon and sign up. Give us a shot. Subscribe for a month, and if you don't like it, unsubscribe. If you like it, a lot of people sign up for a month and then they sign up for a year because you get a 10% discount. And we've seen a lot of that, of people who are just like, "This is amazing. This is awesome. I want more."
And you guys have merch too. So you have the Unmasked merch.
Oh yeah, RickKellyUnmasked.com. We have a store.
It's so much fun.
RickKellyUnmasked.com.
I love it. Everyone needs to check you guys out. See, look, that's a cute mug. The next time you're back, we don't have to talk about Housewives at all. If you guys don't want to talk about.
Oh, we don't mind because we're gonna do recaps every week. So
yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Anytime you'll have to come back here and do a recap and just tell.
We'll talk about it.
We appreciate your interest, David, and having us on.
And I encourage everybody to watch the OC. Like, I'm not bitter where I'm like, I don't watch, like Heather Dubrow said she didn't watch. A lot of people that get demoted or fired say they don't watch, but I encourage everybody to watch. I just love all the producers and the camera people, and they all need jobs. And so I hope they are successful and thrive.
It's going to be interesting. And as things happen, you'll have to tell us what you know and what you don't know, because I won't pry you for any secrets.
I don't want to be spoiler over here.
Okay, let me just ask you this though. Have your friends that you've kept in touch with, have they called you and complained about, like, say, Heather or Shannon or any of the OGs?
My girlfriends?
I call them OGs. Well, like
anyone
an Emily.
Production has called you and complained about her behavior.
About
like,
Heather?
Or like a Shannon.
Every single, even production has called me and told me they've complained about Heather. Everybody.
It shouldn't be a surprise.
And you're going to see what happened to me in Ireland is what should I say?
I don't know.
Okay, I can't say. Nothing.
We don't
Just
want to.
continue. I don't want to reveal but it's going to be a good season. It's going to be a good season. And I feel really bad for Noella. That's all I have to say. I really do.
Do you think the last question I promised?
And Shannon, by the way, I felt bad for Shannon. Huh?
Is Braunwyn just turning over in her?
Braunwyn? I know, she's the one who was best friends with her.
I know.
Yeah.
I think she was shocked when
she was shocked. She went and got a facelift, and I mean, how is she living? Do you talk to her, right?
She hired a wardrobe person.
I haven't talked. No, I haven't talked to her. I mean, ever since. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I had Elizabeth Vargas on my podcast. Ever since then, I haven't spoken to her. I mean, Braunwyn's apparently in New York half the time. I know people that are out with her at night.
I know. Well, I saw one of her friends and says that her kids live here and she's out there. When she gave me a hard time with one daughter who's already in high school, like is self-sufficient. I don't have a baby, saying that I